What was unclear now is clear. Because the world, the universe, and truth are far bigger than the thoughts that you and I have accepted. It's not what you do, it's who you are. This moment right now is the single most important and beautiful moment of our life. Be in this moment, play in this moment, have this moment, live this moment. Want what's happening now. We begin to see that life is not so serious, that we're here to enjoy this experience of life through the tears, through the sadness, and through the fears. Every stream in life, every experience of life is leading me to the ocean of my existence. It's awesome stuff to live.
Oh, Buddha!
We don't need to do anything. There is no place else to be but where we are. Welcome to Aspire. We're going to be looking at the reflection of ourselves through other people. You know, when you look at anyone, no matter who you think they are, you're not seeing them. You're seeing yourself in a different kind of way. You're seeing who you are and maybe unseen parts of yourself, unconscious parts, that you and I may not really want to see. Those challenging individuals that you and I meet on a day-to-day basis don't mean that we are bad or wrong. It simply means that we are meeting parts of ourselves that we've never seen. No one in our life should be looked at as insignificant. Everyone is a part of me and a part of you. And one of the most challenging aspects of the reflection of ourselves and other people and real spiritual work is beginning to look at other people with compassion, forgiveness, a gentleness, an unconditional love in us that says, hey, what is it about you that shows me? What parts of you are you showing me that I do not see? And if I can focus my attention from that point of view, I find that everything in life is reaching out to me to teach me about my relationship with love. And I'm learning about my relationship with myself. Other people are teaching us the relationship we are having with ourselves at an unconscious level most of the time. You know, we like to have tremendous beliefs about ourselves. We have a belief that we're easygoing, nice, low maintenance type of people. But on the other side, if you look deep inside yourself, you will find there is an unconscious part of you that you don't know about. And that's why people come into our life. Certain kinds of people. They're of a certain genre. And those people are not there to harm us or to hurt us. But they are there to show us, if we get the message quickly, what it is in us that makes them possible in our life. People are not karmic debts or karmic rewards. They are reflectors. They're reflecting a certain subtle part of me that is trying to show me in a way what my wound is inside, what hurts me inside, what I haven't developed inside, where I am with love inside. And when I start to look at people from that point of view, everyone becomes my teacher. And love is coming from every nook and cranny of life, trying to help me and to show me, to refine me ever so slightly and ever so greatly as to the way I love myself. Because in essence, in spiritual work, loving ourselves simply means that we catch a hold of who and what we are compassionately, that we don't try to change things, that we heal things through softness and forgiveness. Everybody in our life is there for a very specific reason. It is my suspicion that you and I have lived in a place within ourselves that is far too removed from who and what we really are. And what our relationship with people does is it reflects exactly where we are and the wounds that we don't want to see inside of ourselves. So what are these wounds, huh? Wounds are things that we were taught, things that we felt, sometimes unsaid, deep in our childhood. That's the way we were taught to think about ourselves. It was the way we were taught to emotionalize ourselves. It was those deep hurts that nobody knew that we harbored inside. And the ego is the caretaker of these wounds. It tries to protect them as well as to try to bring them out in us in certain kind of ways that it thinks is beneficial and in our best interest. Let me give you some examples of wounds. Some people have wounds of thinking that they're inferior. Some people have wounds of thinking that they're superior. Some people's wounds are shame. Other people's is a matter of pride. Believe it or not, pride, shame, superiority, all of these things which we all have within us as human beings are our wounds. And the ego tries to dramatize them, cover them up, and make tremendous, tremendous pain for us. So what do we need to do? We need to look at other people as they show us what our wounds are and not hate them, nor our wounds, but get to understand them and be with them, start to nurture them. So how do we have compassion with the wounds within us that hurt us so bad? The ones that we try to protect through our ego and our pride? We have to spend time with them. I know you won't believe this, but it's as simple as this. The more time you spend with the parts of yourself that you don't like, the more you are able to see that in other people and watch in them, oh, the struggle that they have with their ego, their pride, their need to feel superior or their inferiority. The closer you get to that inside yourself and just be close to it, the more things start to heal. You are innately love. The love that is life, the love that is God. And all you need to do is spend close time. Just sit with it. Be as close with it as you possibly can, and that's when things start to change. The reflection that you see in other people is simply yourself. And now compassion and love is born in you in a way in which you might have never have known before. It is interesting to look at the ego and how it deals with our wounds by putting people in categories that the ego feels comfortable with. If someone really threatens my ego or threatens my wounds, maybe of thinking of myself or believing myself to be a certain way, like somebody threatens my attitude about being sure of myself, I'll put them in a stranger category. If they threaten my very security of what I like to believe in about myself, I'll put them in enemy. If someone nurtures me or comforts me the way I think my parents should have comforted me or did, then I'll put them in the parental or family role. We have all sorts of little cubby holes we like to put people in, all to protect the wounds that we're afraid of to see about ourselves. And what we refuse to really understand sometimes is the very reason that we have relationships with people is often based on what we're afraid of about ourselves, what we refuse to feel about ourselves. So what to do? It's a problem. You'll find it very interesting. Somebody will come into your life and show you so many things about yourself, and maybe they will grow. Maybe they'll work out of their wounds by spending time with themselves and being close to their wound, and they'll start to change, and they won't have the kind of dynamics or the kind of craziness that we're used to, the drama that we like. And all of a sudden we say, hey, you're not the person I met, or you're not acting the way you used to, or you don't seem to comfort me when I want you to. And all of a sudden then they're not our friend anymore, they're an enemy. Isn't it interesting how this happens? I like to watch it also in marriages. Two people come together out of mutual wounds usually, fear of themselves. They try to find comfort in each other, and then as they go along, maybe one will start to say to themselves, I can't do this anymore. I can't live like this within myself anymore. And they will change and move and grow while the other one remains the same. The one that remains the same thinks that they have been betrayed, that the other person has grown on them or changed in such a way that they can't live with them anymore. It's all because they didn't grow. They didn't let themselves be nurtured. They didn't fall in love with themselves and find a relationship with themselves past what it was that they were afraid of being, afraid that they are. The difficulty of personal transformation is that we have been taught since we were little children on up to adults to criticize ourselves whenever we were to find something within us that was not socially acceptable or right or moral or good. And from there we were taught to do a hatchet job on ourselves by hacking ourselves away and making ourselves feel bad to do right. How can you make yourself do right when you feel bad about what you're doing? See, I say forget about right and wrong, good and bad. Start looking in yourself compassionately and start seeing what it is in us, in you, and through other people that you're trying to protect in yourself that hurts you. Everybody has something that hurts them. Everybody has something. It's a wound that we have about who we think we are or what we should be. And the object of looking at other people is not to analyze them or to judge them or to think about them as being anything other than who they are. The object is to see our reflection in other people, to look at ourselves from another point of view, and then to forgive ourselves. The ability to look so kindly inside of ourselves and so deeply that we start to have a sense of humor about what's going on within us and tears. We have not been taught in this society to mourn. People say, if you feel bad, something is wrong. I say, when you're in spiritual process, when something hurts, it's usually a sign you're on the key. You're on the beam towards yourself. And if you can stay with that without hesitating, without wavering, just stay with the thing that hurts you until you can feel it and see it, remarkable changes start to happen in your life. You can alter your personality and your behavior, but that doesn't mean you're going to change yourself. The only way we really change ourselves is in not trying to change ourselves, but in trying to accept ourselves through love, compassion, and forgiveness. I want to help you understand how every single person is your teacher, and every single one is trying to teach you something about yourself. The touch of other people is the touch that we must realize within ourselves. First of all, always, 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 when you see another person, no matter who they are, never make them insignificant. Everyone is in my life to teach me something about myself. All of you who are watching this program, everyone that I meet is some part of Gregory inside of himself. Never ever discount that. Always treat people with a sense of sacredness for who they are and for what you are in them. And also realize that they're going to find parts of you very intriguing to them. They're going to see parts of you in them and them in you. And that's going to start dynamics in relationship that is extremely important to understand because it is love refining itself in us. The second thing is you must be very, very aware not to be critical, harsh. If you are harsh with the things that you see inside of yourself through other people and you make judgments and analyzations, you're going to kill the spirit in you of love. The touch of other people. They're showing us who we are through themselves. And if I'm analyzing them or judging them or criticizing them, I'm removing myself from them. Thus, I'm removing myself from the very thing that this person has come into my life to teach me and to show me. Rather than being harsh and critical, stop and ask yourself, what is it about me that made you possible in my life? And don't look at it as though it's some put down. Look at everything from the kindness of compassion. Look at every situation as an opportunity for you to understand what this whole thing of life is all about. It isn't about changing yourself and your behavior to fit a society that is unloving. It is about you and I beginning to see that which hurts us and beginning to not fix it, but to love it. Life is about love. It is not about perfection. It is about love. And you don't have to be perfect to be loved. All you and I need to do is be in tune with ourselves a little bit. Stay in proximity to the things that hurt you until you feel the pain of too much tenderness within you. It melts away the part of you that is critical, trying to protect you. Now, big changes are going to start to occur. You're going to find a whole new field of people coming to you. These people will be teaching you more about yourself, another side of you, another phase of you. And now you start to relish in the joy of meeting people, of understanding that everyone's there not by coincidence, but as an example, as a reflection of yourself. And you can be playful and compassionate with that at any time. The other thing I want you to remember is that when you meet somebody that really annoys you, somebody that really bugs you, somebody you'd like to really believe at the very core of your being has nothing to do with any part of you, it does, and stop it for a moment. Stop analyzing and being so critical about those people who you have great difficulty in understanding. Start to understand this inside. Every single person, every single one has their message. It's a message about me and you, and if you are receptive to it, you can get through this very quickly. If you are not receptive to it, and if you start fighting it, you will make it 10 times more difficult, and that person will stay in your life for a long time. I've seen people live with them for the rest of their life, miserably. Why? Because they learned how to cope with the person rather than to deal with themselves. When I see in someone else that which annoys me greatly, it simply means I'm intolerant of that aspect inside of me. It might have been something I was taught as a child, something I was taught that was bad and wrong. I'm going to say something to you that a lot of you may not understand or even like hearing, but needs to be said at one time or another. One of the biggest hindrances to life is morality. The morality that we have conjured up. The morality that we have made out of right and wrong, good and bad. The only real morality there is in life is love. Love that is God's love, unconditional love. The love that flows like the Tao. But very few people want to be in that love. They'd rather be in the moralistic love because we have been taught to live by how we act, not who we are. To cover up who we are with how we act. And that makes us hypercritical, very sensitive, and deeply angry. Living like that takes away everything in our life that is important and removes us from the lessons of love that we need to know if we are to flourish. Remember something. You and I are not here to change ourselves to be a better society. We are here to relate to ourselves. The closer you get to yourself, the more you will be to God. The closer you will be to God. The closer you will be to life. That's when everything starts taking on meaning. Life isn't about morality. It isn't about right and wrong. It's about who is willing to be with themselves and who isn't. Everything in our life is about love, whether we're aware of it or not, and it's trying to bring us back to the sacredness of love. From the people that we meet, to the money that we share and that we buy things with, to the children that we meet, it's all about love. Love is trying to reach out from every nook and cranny of our life to reach us and to make us merge into it, to allow us to understand how to melt into it. Our relationship with people. It isn't about me being different than you or you being different than me. This individual stuff is quite interesting. I'm an individual, yes, but I'm also a part of you and you are a part of me. And when we get into the nitty-gritty of our life, Every person that we meet is trying to teach us something about ourselves. And if we can treat life as sacred, and if we can treat every individual as something very unique, someone very, very special, you will begin to see you in every association you have, from enemy to lover to friend to relative. Now, the broad scheme of life starts to open up, and a compassion is born in us. We'll be able to gain some, not only information about ourselves and our life, but a sense of consciousness about who and what we are. And that's what changes everything in life. A sense of consciousness, an awareness that we are not just individuals, we are also sharing wounds, and people are coming into our life to show us what needs attention in us. Not criticism, not aggravation, not anger, but simple compassion and forgiveness. I want you to remember one other really important point about you. All you need to do is be in proximity of yourself, and everything is going to start to change. You are so powerful. There is so much in you that all you have to do is be close to the parts of you that are painful and watch the change happen. Don't fight the parts of you that you don't understand, the parts of you that hurt. Stay with them. Work with them. Let them change by just sitting there with them in meditation, in utter silence. You will find they have a message for you. It might be a message that you need to forgive, a message you might need to let go of. The softer we get inside of ourselves, the more able we are to receive messages that seem painful about ourselves or wounding to us. This is when we find the ultimate insight, where we start to see the reflection of ourselves and other people. And we start to use this reflection not as a matter of criticism, but a matter of liberation, a way to see ourselves in a different light and a way to feel who and what we are. Everything in this life is just trying to get me and you back to love. That's all it's about. And when we forget that, that's when we fall out of harmony with life. When we remember it, then everyone and everything becomes an adventure and a teaching and a compassion. Thank you for being with us. Namaste. Be in this moment, play in this moment, have this moment, live this moment. Want what's happening now. We begin to see that life is not so serious, that we're here to enjoy this experience of life through the tears, through the sadness, and through the fears. Every stream in life, every experience of life is leading me to the ocean of my existence. It's awesome stuff to live.
Oh, Buddha!
We don't need to do anything. There is no place else to be but where we are.
To order a VHS copy of this program, please write to us or call 1-800-ASPIRE-2.